When I was looking at these frequencies and these things that were being talked about by these metaphysicists on the internet, what I still found is that they were void of any real plans. And then what I mean, like an actual blueprint. Where can we see this? Because surely we're not the first to discover it. There's a lot of conceit happening with this idea that we're introducing something new. I don't think we've actually gotten to that frequency yet. It's coming where it'll be new to us what we experience. But still, this has already really been done. We're in the stardust. Get forward with this. We need to adapt the original system so that we can gain our anchor points here and then realize how this is playing out inside of us. And then when we need something, we can just call it in directly from the source. No Eve angels. Eve angels nowadays, it's an order of magnitude. So it's like the things you have plugged in. And this was the last part of the notes. The order of how you have things plugged in. Okay? Unlike how electricity works, where you can plug into every socket and get about the same voltage if you need it. This works where the first thing you plug in gets the most of your voltage. And then the second thing that's plugged in behind that, and then behind that, and behind that, and that creates a chain ad infinitum. So what I'm saying is that if your primary source of energy is a person, as I was telling you yesterday, they're going to fail. There's not enough energy inside of a person to sustain the vibratory frequencies we need to get to. You need to unplug from that source and plug into a new source. It's not that anything is wrong, because meaning that you didn't do anything wrong. This is just now in time, you have to change things up. So you unplug from that source, plug into the main source, grab that cord, and then plug it in back into you, okay? If that makes sense. So you're going to make sure that there's nothing in between you and the main source, which is you and yourself and your dialogue going on between you about your growth and your progress and the voices that you get back from your guides. That is always first. And then mother, brothers, sisters, uncles, lovers, babies, anything that has manifested itself on the external level, even though it does have a spiritual correspondence, should not come first than the power source. Right now, you're standing on the power source. They've already been able to prove if you put your feet on the ground, it charges your body. I mean, like they need to prove that to you. You knew that already. I was laying last night. I'm glad I got a chance to get to this and I'm done. I was laying there on the rock, dialing in the space and the vibration and the frequency. I had to spend about an hour and a half doing this as I keep consecrating the space and forcing myself to be there until it's completely natural. That way it works into the regimen. So I'm there. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm not thinking about anything in the matrix. I'm not doing any stuff. I'm there and I'm feeling the power of, let's say, that being native, indigenous, whatever you want to call it, being grounded in a child of this beauty. And as I'm there with a smile on my face, it says, you see that tree? Because I was laying on my back. So I'm looking up into the trees and I see this tree. It's like only this thick, literally like this thick. And it's way up there. And it said, to make a tree grow so high. Now, again, this doesn't just come out as a question. It comes across as like a statement. It doesn't come across as a question. I'll say that again. It comes across as a statement, even though it's phrased like a question. And as I soaked into that level of awareness, I realized that was also our story. Because when I first started my vibratory journey and I was in between all these stones, it started getting really dark for a moment and dense. I felt like I was in the catacombs. I felt like all the rocks were skulls and that there was so much, this vibration and this soil and this stank and all this. And I really felt that energy and it was real. In the end of the journey, I began to love more and more that energy because I realized that it has so much power to make things grow so high. We just have to be aware of that. We have to dial into that frequency. You're from a space where you're already familiar with everything that's the negative one. They think they're scaring you with all this kind of stuff. You're acting. We've already come from a place that actually has the worst it could ever be, and we grew from that. and we'll keep growing and we'll keep getting stronger. We won't get weaker. And even like I said, when we pass on, because everybody gonna leave this joker. I don't care what you say. I'm glad, like, 'cause at some point this does have to be over. Be like, yo, time out of this. I'll be taking it into another space, and I'll be on this vibration and frequency that'll be greater than this, because I won't have the governor. Right now, I'm in school. You're in school. You have the governor. That's what organs really are, Lord Governor. That's what they're doing. They're governing the frequencies. When you leave up out of here, they were like, all right, you got the car now. Let's see if you know how to drive. So turn up. Get ready to turn this energy up, and always be strong within yourself. I'm noticing lately that, sometimes I realize you got to be strong against distraction, because even like right now, some folks move around. There's some dude up there ripping up the grass and stuff like that. And I was like, I told them that this is where the second processor is going. I told them to be quiet. I just told him for 1 hour I needed to be quiet, and it's interrupting my whole flow. And I realized that, man, muscle buddy out of here. Like, get out of my mind. I don't care what he's doing. If he's chopping something down, I'm about to get louder. Then you have to be like that in this. Every time they turn it up, I'm turning it up even more. Play with me. I'm sure you will desist, because I'm rolling with the energy that controls everything. That's what you have to know about yourself. But to truly know it, maybe you need to put it into practice and study it if it just doesn't come to you right away, because that's what deprogramming is.